Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. In the last episode, we defeated the Kraken, although the music seems to think that we haven't. We defeated the Kraken. We stand before the crystal at the center of the cave. I have thoughts. I have thoughts on this. I kind of want to see what we're dealing with here. Oh, there we go. An enormous crystal juts out from the wall like a spearhead protruding from a wound. An army of reflections stares back at you from the crystal's perfect facets. It echoes the sound of your footsteps in soft ringing hums. Someone will have to take up Abydon's hammer and strike the crystal. And Andra warned that whoever does so will be buried in this place with the Eyeless. Whom do you choose? Yourself, the Devil of Carrick, Sagani, Durance, Maneha, Aloth, draw lots, step back and consider this further. We can't go back up. We're locked into this. The little thing, the wall that we climbed down, we were told we can't climb back up, so like there's no going to get help. It's gonna be one of us. Out of all of the people, we could make Durance do this. Fuck Durance. I think the selfish part of Ximena's brain is like, Durance, now is your time. Now is your time. Like, I don't like you. You a bitch. Just like, you do the thing. You do the thing. What's giving me pause, the reason why I'm not jumping on that, is the rising. Ximena, I think, is standing before this crystal. She's looking at her reflection and she's thinking, oh shit, well we can just make Durance do it. We can just make Durance do it. We can take the easy way out. I took the easy way out before and all of those people died. And I think she's hearing those screams, the water rushing, people pleading to Andra, to any of the gods for help, and that help not arriving, knowing all of those people died because of me. And she had to stand there and listen to it. This isn't some abstract, oh, I killed a bunch of people. Like, no, she was there. She was there. She heard the screams. And that has affected her. I do think that has affected her. And I think there is part of her that is like, I condemned all of those people to death. As it turned out, unnecessarily. Am I really going to stand here and condemn someone else to death? I think Ximena feels an immense amount of guilt for that. Ximena doesn't often feel guilty because she doesn't have to sit with the consequences of her actions. She has now. For the rising, she has had to sit with the consequences of her actions. She had to witness the devastation play out in real time. She couldn't turn around and close her eyes to it. She heard those screams. Those screams will echo in her soul. And I think right now they are echoing. I could take the easy way out. You took the easy way out before, and now we're all dead. And Kauto betrayed you either way. You killed us for no fucking reason. Are you really going to do that again? I think she's got the hammer in her hand. She's looking at Durance, and then I think she's looking at her reflection in the crystal. I'm drawn to number 1. I am actually drawn to number 1. At the beginning of the game, I would never have said that. Absolutely not. Ximena sacrificing herself? Fuck that noise. But after the Rising, I'm drawn to number 1. I mean, if this is the end of our journey, then this is the end. Part of me, here's the thing, out of character, I'm like, they're not just gonna kill off the main character because they're the main character. Like, we haven't completed the game. They're not gonna, well, they might. To be fair, they might roll credits. Your adventure only took you so far. Like, this is how it ends. They might do that. I don't think they will. But from Ximena's perspective, I'm putting myself in Ximena's shoes, and all I'm hearing is the screams of the low tide. When I try and center myself as Ximena, did I say when I put myself in Maneha's shoes? It's because they've got 2 very similar names. And if I say Maneha at any time, think I've said, you know, picture it as Ximena instead, because I'm talking about Ximena here. When I picture myself in Ximena's shoes, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm wet because I'm standing in water. You know, my muscles, they ache from the battle with the Kraken and the battle with the Eyeless. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, we could just give the hammer to Durance. Fuck him. He's been an arsehole. He's been an arsehole this entire time. I don't like Durance. I don't like him. And I look at my reflection in the crystal, and all I'm hearing are screams. All I'm hearing is the screams of people who were completely innocent. And I can't stop that sound. And it's giving me pause. Amidst the cacophony is just that line. You took the easy way out before. Are you really going to do so again? How much can you handle on your conscience? How much death can you really handle on your conscience now that you're actually looking at it? I'm drawn to number 1. I think it's the screams. It's the screams of the low tide.
You have led us bravely. It has been an honor to follow your lead.
I think Ximena, she's gripping the hammer in both of her hands, and she's just saying, leave! Before I change my mind, please leave!
As long as I live, Masuk will sing your name alongside Persok's.
I just hope you're not doing this for all those louts and stalwart. Even the new ones ain't worth it.
Straight into the fire, then. Your chances aren't favorable, but at least you've learned to embrace the test. I told you I'd be good for you, Watcher.
You can shut the fuck up. You were very close to being in this position. Shut up and piss off.
You're a brave soul. Wish I'd met you sooner.
You take the diving helmet and tuck it away, just in case. You heft the hammer and swing it at the crystal. A perfect clear tone rings through the air and resonates through your teeth. Seconds later, ripples shiver through the water. Something big is coming. You give the others a final nod. The rest of the party scrambles out of the flooded cavern and flees through the tunnels. You continue hammering at the crystal, each strike magnifying the last. The echoes build into physical tremors. Meanwhile, a heavier rhythm pulses through the cave. Footsteps, dozens of them. Ooh, hello. The others round a corner only to see a line of Eyeless advancing. The creatures stagger to the rhythm of the hammer thuds below, yet they crane their necks towards the party, ratcheting back their piston arms. Okay, mirror image, repulsing seal. Well, let's just repulse them. Repel them. Endurance. A glowing seal blooms from the ground. The first 2 Eyeless step on it and fall backwards, taking most of the others with them then. Dodge past. The party sprints past the distracted monsters. Fortunately, the creatures are too focused on the hammering to give chase. They continue towards the cavern. You maintain a steady tempo on the crystal. Eyeless gather in the cavern, where they batter the walls in time with the hammer's rhythmic blows. The ground shakes. Falling rocks and shattering crystals splash to the ground. The party flees through dark, rumbling corridors. More spellbound Eyeless shamble along, but they're too entranced by the swelling cadence to take more than an idle swipe at the party. The tunnel narrows. Light filters through ahead. The exit must be around the next bend. But it's clogged with rubble. Meanwhile, the ground drops several feet at once and the tunnel begins rolling on its axis. The distant sound of rushing water echoes from the cavern. So twin stones require not met, but we have frenzy. Consider who will do it. Meneha! Fury descends and fills Meneha's body with desperate, violent strength. Meneha bashes a path through the rubble. The moon shudders again. The party escapes onto the ice just as another thunderous crash sounds from below. Eyeless continue pouring into the cavern from every visible tunnel and crevice. Your ears ring at the ever-growing cacophony of smashing rock and shattering crystal. Meanwhile, the water level is rising. I think Ximena, she's got her eyes closed. I do think she's crying. She would be terrified. She would be terrified. And again, as the water level rises, it's the screams of the low tide. But I think she's thinking, at least I didn't take the easy way out this time. A skull-splitting crack rends the air and a surge of water knocks you from your feet. The entire cavern rotates, plunging you into a freezing soup of jagged metal, torn flesh and stone. Oh, the others dash across the lake. The ice squeals and crackles, rocking dangerously underfoot. The sinking moon groans. Long fissures race across the ice. The only one we can do is scout for a more stable place to cross. The surface of the ice is riddled with cracks. Only someone who knows what to look for can find safe passage. My thought doesn't Sagani comes from someplace with a lot of snow, right? She comes from up north. She's like from the tundra and shit. So like surely and she's a tracker. She's a tracker as well. Fuck yes. Sagani charts a careful path across the ice, skirting cracks and dodging thin patches. The rest of the party follows. We got our companions to safety. I think maybe in her heart, Ximena is thinking like, at least, you know, they had the chance. They had the, like, for once in my life, I did something fucking brave. At last, everyone reaches the safety of the shore. In the middle of the lake, only the tip of the moon is still visible above the ice. The survivors watch in silence as it sinks into the depths. You trudge through the rubble at the lake bottom. The water is freezing. The air in the diving helmet is acrid, and the sound of your own breathing roars in your ears. Still, it's better than drowning. You navigate out of the settling rubble and see the ghostly light of the surface above. Thank God for that diving helmet. At last you reach the shallows. You punch through a thin crust of ice and crawl ashore, trembling but alive. Oh. Atta girl. You stand at the edge of the lake. The bobbing of the ice and the rippling of the water's surface slows until you're looking at a moment frozen in time. When the world begins moving once more, it moves in reverse. How are you all still alive? How are you all still alive? The surface of the water churns and roils like it's about to spew something up, and it does. The fragments of Ione Bratha rise, unbroken. Ice reforms across the surface of the lake, spreading in long freezing fingers. Eyeless file out of the moon fragment and onto the ice. They wind around the moon in an ever-widening spiral. They stop as the head of their line reaches you. They speak in a single voice that resonates with grinding metal and hissing steam.
We shatter and sink, discarded like worn tools. Why have you consigned us to oblivion?
Hello? You tried to kill me. Are you serious, Passionate? You would have destroyed Cadnua, Durgan's battery, and more. You would have killed many innocent people. Benevolent. You are worn-out tools, broken and useless. I mean, I'm kind of drawn to... I think Ximena's just gone through a lot. Ximena, I think, on some level, Ximena was convinced she was going to die. I think on some level, she was convinced she was going to die. And then clearly at some point, someone had said, like, hey, remember the diving helmet? And, you know, she managed to get it on in time. And she's come through... Almost, this feels a bit like a baptism to me. She's come through the water on the other side. She's been cleansed, almost. And I think she's probably just shivering on the ice. Someone's probably given her a cloak. And I think she's looking up at these creatures. And I don't think she has any fight in her right now. I don't think she has any fight to be like, oh, are you serious? She's just experienced something really traumatic. And I think she'd be rather matter of fact. You would have destroyed Cadnua, Durgan's battery, and more. Their protest is as sharp as squealing metal.
Blasphemy! These are jewels of civilization. They are sacred. We would sooner sacrifice our own bodies than dislodge a single stone from such a place. Why do you torment us with baseless accusations?
Tell that to the Palgrunen you killed, Passionate. You were changed from a preserver to a destroyer. Andra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. Who else could have done such damage to a mighty Palgrunen fortress? Rational. This bitch tried to kill us. This bitch tried to kill us. She outright admitted it. Oh, it would be better if you died because you've seen too much. Fuck Andra. Fuck her. Andra changed you from a preserver to a destroyer. The Eyeless are still, but you hear their gears whir as their collective spirit ponders this.
Then we were betrayed.
Yes, you were transformed against your will. No, you were adapted to serve a new purpose. That depends on how you look. I mean, you were betrayed. I was betrayed. Yes, you were transformed against your will.
And we were made to betray something we cherish.
You feel their bitter agony like a hammer strike. The legacy of the Ingwithans, you mean? That was the people. I couldn't remember their name. What was that? The legacy of the Ingwithans, you mean?
The bedrock of civilization.
Oh. Suddenly they attack the ice beneath them, slicing and shattering it with mighty swings from their iron arms. And where the ice breaks, ancient towers rise, blotting out the blue sky and white peaks. What is this? Andra wanted Ingwithan civilization gone. I mean, clearly this is... The Engwithans roamed far and wide, I'm pretty sure. Like, the Engwithans were everywhere. Clearly, like, they lived here at some point. Yeah, this is probably what he was protecting. I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed off at this bitch. But then we might... He might give us answers. Which is more important? My desire to get answers or my desire to throw Andra under the bus? I'm kind of inclined to be petty. As I said, I think Ximena she's just dealt with something very traumatic. And I think she's tired. Ondra wanted Engwithin's civilization forgotten.
Better for her tides to ebb and her seas to dry up than to cover a single stone the Engwithins laid.
The ice shakes with the fury of the Eyeless.
Each culture builds on the bones of the last. Yet many only look up at where they would go, never down at the foundations that bear them. Like a mason who builds a listing tower.
The remaining ice sheet cracks and groans.
What peril do they inflict on their progeny? And what dishonor on their forebears?
You hear the strain of crumbling stone in the voice of the Eyeless. You think it unwise to forget the past. Yeah. The betrayal of memory upsets you greatly.
It is accepting a gift only to spit in the face of the giver. Every advance in the crafts and institutions of Kith was forged by skill and sacrifice.
You feel these words, and the anger behind them in your bones.
A people cut off from their history will wither, and they deserve no less.
I agree, no, they'll be free to choose their own path. Then what do you suggest? Yeah, this is sounding like you have a path in mind. Then what do you suggest?
To pull the blinders from the eyes of gods and Kith. That is why we must return to ourself and restore Abydon.
Ooh. What do you mean about returning to yourself? Perhaps Abydon was meant to forget his past. Some knowledge is too dangerous for this world. You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example. Memory remains a burden, even when the events and people it recalls are long gone. It's pain with no purpose. Very well, return to yourself and be the god of preservation once more. Enough, you must not restore Abydon's memory or his dominion over preservation. So this is just outright fuck you, Ondra. This is siding with Ondra. I find these interesting. Here's my thinking. Ximena is tired, yes. I don't think she's so tired that she's like, right, I want to start a god war. I neither want to start a god war, nor do I want to have a specific god be pissed off at me. We restore Abydon, Ondra is pissed at us. We say, no, don't fucking do it, Abydon's pissed at us. I'm not entirely sure what I'm kind of tired. I'm in a similar boat as Ximena. I'm like, my brain is not functioning at full capacity. Let me say that again. We restore Abydon. Ondra is pissed. We say don't restore Abydon. Abydon is pissed. I might have said that before. I don't know. But either way, with both of those options, with 5 and 6, we're pissing off a god. So I'm very intrigued to see where 1, 2, 3, and 4 go. What do you mean about returning to yourself?
When Ione fell, Abydon lost much. His will to preserve, the memory of how and why he died. But he built us with fragments of his own soul. In returning, we can restore what was taken from him.
Yet 5 and 6, neither is... Both have major negative drawbacks. I'm wondering if we go through 2, 3, and 4, we can maybe open up another path. Because these are all like, these are trying to persuade. These are persuasive options. Whereas 5 and 6 are just like, yo, do whatever. Like, here's a path. Here's a path, take it. Perhaps Abydon was meant to forget his past. Some knowledge is too dangerous for this world. Something grinds and rumbles from the chest of the Eyeless. It's laughter.
A facile argument.
One that defends stasis, not progress.
What the fuck? Pardon? What? This has not... I'm having a moment. We have not heard anything about this. We have not heard anything about this. Excuse me? Aloth, you were part of the Leaden Key. Surely you understand why some secrets... What? What? I'm second guess. Has this been revealed? And I've just glossed over it in my... I swear down... this is the first time hearing this. This is the first time hearing this. I swear down. I think maybe this is a bug. I think maybe this is a bug revealing something that I should not know. Yeah, Ximena wouldn't know this. If this is real, Ximena wouldn't know this because we haven't been told that. So yeah, let's see where these go. Ondra said Abydon's memory would threaten the peace between the gods.
Just as fire clears dead wood from a forest, struggle makes way for new developments.
Flame rolls across the ice. As it dies away, clumps of ice melt. The towers rise higher.
Conflict is part of progress. Peace and ignorance is not worth keeping.
Okay. Kith shouldn't have anything as powerful as the White Forge.
With the ability to bind souls to metal, you mean? You helped the Crucible Knights pursue a similar power in the Forge Knights.
The shrieking of metal joints and the clanking of steel limbs echoes across the ice.
Do not condemn knowledge when it becomes inconvenient for you.
Okay. Yo, I mean, I've said this before. The Animancy has made no progress, yet it's responsible for Wix, the Bale Reach incident, and the swindle of desperate families. Ximena doesn't believe this, but she will say shit that she doesn't believe in. Animancy has made no progress, yet it's responsible for Wix, the Bale Reach incident, and the swindle of desperate families.
And what great achievement has not begun with failure? Would you condemn the world to stagnation simply to avoid it?
That depends on the price of failure. Animancy has cost too much and achieved too little to justify itself. I fear Animancy's success more than its failure. A people with mastery of their own souls would leave nothing to chance. That's true stagnation. No, that's a good argument. I fear Animancy's success more than its failure. A people with mastery over their own souls would leave nothing to chance. That's true stagnation.
We had not considered this.
They hesitate.
Still, you point to an exception.
I'm gonna reword this. I think just Aloth, step forward. You speak for us. Aloth, surely you understand why some secrets need to be kept.
All too well. The Leaden Key's methods may not be perfect, but they protect Kith from themselves.
Ximena didn't hear that.
We cannot defend the intentions of a group that kills to hide secrets.
Yet how many more would suffer without their intervention? People went mad in Defiance Bay over the murder of a duke. Imagine what they'd do if they knew one god had killed another.
We concede that some knowledge is best forgotten, after all.
I'm gonna say that Ximena stepped back to let Aloth do the talking there. Ximena was like, Aloth keeps secrets. That's the thing we know about him. Aloth likes to keep secrets. He wanted to remove his contribution to that lady's research about soul bullshit. So I think maybe Ximena was like, Aloth, you like to keep secrets. You go talk to the metal men. You go talk to them. And then Aloth did all that. And then he's walked back, and now Ximena is stepping forward again. Ximena has no knowledge of what just happened.
Even so, we must restore Abydon.
I'm having... What do you mean he's part of the Len Key? What do you mean? Oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. I have this memory very early on in the Let's Play where I said Aloth reminded me a little bit of Solus. I swear down I said this at the beginning of the Let's Play. Aloth reminded me of Solus. If anyone was going to betray the party, I had my things pegged on Aloth. You son of a... You're my best friend! You're my best friend, you dickhead! But Ximena doesn't know this! I swear down that's not... Am I being dumb? Am I being dumb? I swear down that's not been revealed. I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment. You speak as if history were a guide, yet it doesn't always provide a good example.
Then do not look to it for one. History is not a moral force, but a set of facts. These facts show Kith where they have come from, and how to move forward.
Okay. The Pogrunen were obsessed with the past. They died in the keep they built to honour it. The Deerwoodens and Glenfathans have fought 2 wars over their history, and they still haven't moved forward. Stalwart and the Iron Flail remained at odds, even in the face of a bigger threat, all because of their history. The Devil's history has only perpetrated a cycle of bloodshed after... Well, this one we actually know about. The Devil's history has only perpetuated a cycle of bloodshed.
And how many others suffer adversity and rise above it?
The blind magfolk turned to consider her.
Perhaps the problem you speak of lies not in our history, but in her.
Hey, I'm standing right here.
You talk about history in the abstract, but it's personal. The loss of one's history, home, family, community, is traumatic and transformative. Maybe so. Her actions were motivated by her past, as were those of the men and women who burned a village. How can you not blame history? Yeah, I'm more so drawn to this. You're talking about it like it's an abstract concept, but it's really not. You talk about history in the abstract, but it's personal. The loss of one's history, home, family, community, is traumatic and transformative. The Eyeless are silent for a long time.
To be sundered in this manner is to change, violently. And simply knowing what was lost does not restore it. We understand something of this. Maybe so. But we would not cast history aside over one such example.
Okay, so we need 2 examples for each talking point. Okay. Again, we actually experienced this. We actually experienced this. We're not a Deerwooden or a Glenfathan. And this was rooted in like, oh, they're Red Sarens, we're an outsider. This we actually witnessed. The Pogrunen were obsessed with the past. They died in the keep they'd built to honor it.
And their brethren have built a culture that stretches across Eora. All because they recognize the importance of their shared legacy.
Yet the Pogrunen of Durgan's Battery might have built more if they'd surrendered this obsession with legacy and moved east. And before you killed them, they nearly destroyed themselves, arguing over the meaning of that legacy. Legacy is an idea. We shouldn't prize it over the lives and well-being of Kith. I see you. But yeah, they damn near killed themselves. They damn near killed themselves because they were so focused on like, legacy, legacy, legacy. And before you killed them, they nearly destroyed themselves, arguing over the meaning of that legacy.
Yet it drove them to create marvels. Could it have torn them apart with equal force?
You feel the Eyeless wrestling with this question, shifting and struggling under its weight.
We admit that history can become a hindrance. Even so, we must restore Abydon.
Memory remains a burden, even when the events and people it recalls are long gone. It's a pain with no purpose.
Burdens strengthen the bearer, and they warn against repeated mistakes. Why would you discard them so hastily?
Meneha shouldn't have to suffer guilt over an act she committed in a past life.
Pleasing or no, that memory was a part of her. In surrendering it, she lost a part of herself.
The part that spent every waking hour obsessed with old history, perhaps. What I lost was a burden. and one that bent me over for years.
It would be better if Kith did not become trapped by guilt, sorrow, and shame. But we speak of what should be. You recognize what is. Yet such destructive memories are rare. Surely others are strengthened by retrospection, even amidst pain.
I'm awakened. I'm tormented by questions from a past life.
A rare opportunity, for you have the chance to answer them, to do things left undone.
The creatures raise their misshapen arms, and the voice of their souls is as deep and melodious as a bell. But those things don't matter now. If I was able to leave them behind, then they obviously weren't important. Sometimes moving on is the way to move forward. Remaining stuck in the past is not progress, yes. Sometimes moving on is the way to move forward. Remaining stuck in the past is not progress.
That presumes that some questions cannot be resolved.
The souls ponder this.
We confess that we had little understood how memory shapes and stunts Kith. Perhaps history does not always serve progress. But what then?
The collective essence churns and percolates in question. Then return to Abydon with perspective as well as memory. Let history be a tool for progress, not an end unto itself. Middle ground. Middle ground. We can avoid a god war and pissing off one god. Okay, that's fantastic. Well, Andra might still be pissed. But it's with perspective. Come on. Then return to Abydon with perspective as well as memory. Let history be a tool for progress, not an end unto itself.
We shall temper our memory with context. We shall see that the foundation of history is not only broad, but also firm.
A great wind shoves at your back. Your ears pop, and you feel for a moment as if all the air is being sucked from the sky. Suddenly, it ends, and you are standing in the snow, looking over Kayron's scar. Stalwart, extraordinary positive.
The Eyeless disappeared beneath the lake, their bond to Andra finally severed. With this threat ended, hope returned to the White March. Hunters returned to the wildernesses, and travelers to the roads. Tales of the Watcher's bravery replaced stories of monsters in the woods. The villagers of Stalwart busied their hands with work and their tongues with song, eager to seize on the promise of peace.
Hey, get in there. Lair of the Eyeless completed. Ooh, a whistling in the reeds was added. Okay, lovely. Lovely. Yeah, we will look at that at the beginning of the next episode. That was a good ending. That was a good ending. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with that. I am slightly miffed that we've learned something spoilery about Aloth. That is... I mean, to be fair, I think if we hadn't have picked that, then I don't think we would have been able to persuade the Eyeless not to go full... Because that was the thing, that the Eyeless would have returned to Abydon and he would have been like, Andra, that bitch. So it's... You know, there would have been that. There would have been fighting. If we had destroyed the Eyeless, then, you know, Abydon, who seems like a pretty cool guy, Abydon doesn't seem all that, like, nasty. He would have suffered. Andra would have gotten her way, which I wasn't really all too happy with, considering she tried to kill us. Yet this walks quite a nice middle ground. Abydon will be made whole, but there won't be a god war. Like, that was a really cool ending. We did need Aloth's help, because it seemed like we needed 2 points for each argument. We couldn't have done that without Aloth. But I am slightly miffed that it's been revealed that he's part of the Leaden Key when that has not... I swear down, that has not been revealed in the story. That has not been revealed in the story. Now, I am over time for this episode. I figured I'd finish that segment. In the next one, I think we return to Stalwart to rest up. We need it. And then we head back to the Deerwood proper. We go back to what we were doing before. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. A special thanks to my channel members, such as SM2K, Christopher K. Davies, CGG, and Kevin Bicknell. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.